insurance companies for my friends and neighbors right here in North Central Florida. If you've been hurt and don't know who to trust, I would be honored to help you and your family against any opponent, anytime, anywhere. Call me 24/7.
The good vibes! What? All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
Taste the islands and every drop of Vida de Luis tequila, 100% blue agave from Tequila, Mexico. Good vibes.
All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
It's time to thank the sponsors that make college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle possible. Vida de Luis Tequila, the official tequila of college sports today. Make sure you ask for Vida de Luis Tequila by name in your favorite bars and restaurants throughout the state of Florida. And of course, with your next margarita inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grille. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The official seafood restaurants of college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle can be found up and down the northeast Florida coast. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The proud seafood sponsors of college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle. J.B. Coxwell Contracting, established in 1983 and offering complete site development. Go with the company generally considered the most well-respected heavy civil construction firm in Northeast Florida. Go with J.B. Coxwell Construction. For advertising information to get your business on college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle, simply shoot me an email, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. Again, shoot me, Terry Norvelle, an email, and I'll get back with you. That email address again, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com.
Right back here live inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, Coach's Podcast Room. We call it the Future Home Loans Studio. Of course, our show is our title sponsor of College Sports Day. We always want to recognize our good friends over at Allen Law Firm. Good way to catch them is simply pick up your phone, pound YES. If you've got questions, maybe you've been injured, somebody you know, you love has been injured in an accident, get the particulars. Ask the questions. They're happy. They're experts at these fields. Ask them the questions. They'll give you their honest and professional opinion. It's very simple. A free consultation, pound YES off of your phone. Time now, Week 10. Goodness gracious, where is the season going? College Sports Today cruises into Week 10. It is time for our Safe Harbor Seafood picks of the week, as we've got Coach Spurrier's picks down. He is traveling. He'll be back next week. Shane Matthews should join us as we take a quick look at the standings and this week's games, the November 6th Saturday games. Huge week, by the way, for Shane Matthews. 9-1. Shane made up a couple games. Coach Spurrier 8-2. I checked in with a standard 7-3, and you see the overall standings. We are tight, man. I'm in the lead with 61 correct. Shane has 60, and Coach Spurrier 56 right behind us. And we've got 11 games this week. Shane, big week for you. You had a couple 4 and 6s, and then you came back with a vengeance, 9-1.
Yeah, and I don't even remember who I picked, quite honestly.
Okay, well then you were 6-4. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. You were 4 and 6. Let me change that. Yeah, you had a big week, and we're tight. You and I are one apiece, and Coach is right there with 56. Coach Shane, we got 11 games this week. Can you believe it's Week 10?
Yeah, it goes by very fast. I mean, tonight's the last night of high school football.
That's amazing. They'll be in the play. Yeah, you're right. Playoffs next week, right? Next Friday, next Thursday, next Friday. Oof. Unreal. First Saturday tomorrow is our first Saturday college football in November. Shane, let's start off SEC. Pretty good game. You got Mississippi State playing really good football. They are on the road at Arkansas. Arkansas 5-3. They're trying to get bowl eligible. Mississippi State also 5-3. Pretty fun game. 4 o'clock SEC Network. Coach has gone Arkansas. Shane, what do you think? Leach and the boys going up against the Razorbacks.
Are you sure Coach picked Arkansas? He picked against Bubba?
I know. It was unbelievable. I got his picks, and I had to look 2 and 3 times. That tells you he's in win mode now, Shane, right? He's in catch-up mode.
Well, I'm taking Mississippi State. I'm taking the team that can throw the football. I thought Will Rogers, he set a record last week. And, I firmly believe that's how you win in college football these days is throwing it. So I'm going to take Mississippi State to win.
You've been very, very consistent about that. I'm with you. I'm going with the road team. Not that Arkansas is not playing pretty good. These two teams do it totally different. But, man, Mississippi State, and don't forget their defense. Mississippi State's picked up their defense in 2 years under Leach. I'm going to go State as well. Coach, I saw his picks. Unless he had somebody do them for him, he turned in Arkansas. 3:30 ABC, you've got Michigan State, AP 5th, I guess, in the college football playoff, the poll that matters now, they're 3rd. Michigan State off a big win, huge fourth quarter comeback against Michigan. At Purdue, Purdue sprung one upset already. Coach has gone Michigan State. Shane, I'll go second. I don't always make you go right in the middle. Purdue worries me because they can throw the ball, but I'll go Michigan State riding that running back Walker. Give me the Spartans.
Well, I think he should win the Heisman Trophy. He's been the most dominant player in the country, but Purdue's going to win this game. Jeff Braun will dial them up. They can throw the football, and Michigan State has been very impressive, but if you really look at it, they've won a lot of close games, very close games to some bad teams. So I think Purdue, with the way they can throw the football, I think they win.
Does it worry you that Purdue's already had kind of a big upset? And they're kind of a one upset a year team.
Well, they won last week at Nebraska, which I don't know if that's an upset, but you go on the road and beat Nebraska and Nebraska.
But didn't they get Iowa? Didn't they get Iowa?
Yeah, they beat Iowa at Iowa though.
Yeah.
I think it was at Iowa. So I'm not. I mean, look, Michigan State's a great story. I don't think they're a great team, but I do think Purdue can throw the football and throw it very well.
Back to the SEC, your 7 p.m. ESPN game has Alabama hosting LSU. Of course, Bama sitting in the 2 spot in the first college football playoff. And boy, you just get the feeling that LSU, their high water mark was beating Florida. And you just kind of get the feeling they're playing out the string. Obviously, Coach Spurrier is taking Bama. Shane, I'm assuming you've got Bama, and I'm going Bama. Is that right?
Oh, this is going to be a massacre.
Yeah.
Bama wins big. I mean, it's going to be I think this game's going to be like 48-6.
I could see that, yeah. And would you agree, LSU, their circle the wagons, win one for the Gipper game was a couple weeks ago when Florida came to town. It looks like they're playing out the string now, right?
Who's this?
LSU.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, they just don't have the players to match up with Alabama. And, 2 years ago, this is where LSU beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa. I don't think it's even going to be a contest.
ACC game is game number 4. Miami Hurricanes, 2 impressive wins. Miami back at home in their stadium. Georgia Tech comes to town. The Canes quietly 4-4 now, 2-2. They still have at FSU, Virginia Tech, and Duke. So goodness gracious, not out of the realm of possibility that Miami could run the table and turn it into a pretty good year. Canes hosting the Ramblin' Wreck. I'll go Miami. Shane, how do you see this one?
I mean, you got to go with Miami here. They're playing pretty good football here recently, believe it or not. I think their third-string quarterback's playing well.
Yeah,
and I think Miami will win this game.
Yeah, that's a 12:30 ESPN 3 game, by the way. It's 12:30, but the Canes have surprised me. I picked against them the last 2 weeks. I thought they were going to get bombed by NC State and Pitt, and damn if they haven't turned the corner on a couple pretty good team. Staying in the so you're going Miami as well. Coach Spurrier also went Miami, so it's a clean sweep with the Canes. As we stay in the ACC, Shane, it's a tough game. This is a tough game coming up to pick, I think. 4 o'clock, ACC Network tomorrow. Florida State, 3-game winning streak. One of them's over Massachusetts. I get it. But FSU at home in Tallahassee facing a schizophrenic NC State team. I think they're pretty good. They lose it for about 5 game minutes, and they lose the game here and there. FSU 3-5, chasing a bowl. NC State 6-2. Shane, I think this is a tough pick right here.
It is. It's like you say, you don't know what either one of these teams are going to do. But I'm going to go with FSU. They've been playing much better of late. They're at home. I think they'll find a way to win.
I'm kind of with you. Coach Spurrier incidentally took FSU. I'm with you guys. Man, I almost picked FSU to beat Clemson. I had a feeling last week they were going to play Clemson well. Might have should have won that game. And I'm with you. I think FSU's playing good football. They're calling their offensive game to fit their quarterback. I don't think Travis is a traditional quarterback by any means, but they're calling the game to fit him. They kind of ugly it up on offense, but I'm going with the Noles, and that would get them really close to bowl eligible. Staying in the ACC, I think another tough game, Shane Matthews. Game number 6, we're looking at Wake Forest, first time ever popping up into the top 10 in the AP, obviously, and they're sitting at 9 in the one that matters, the playoff poll. Wake Forest on the road, all that offense, noon ABC game at North Carolina. Shane Matthews, I think this is a tough game. I'm going to go ahead and let you stew on it a minute. I think it ends right now for Wake Forest. I think UNC gets them. Neither team plays much defense. Give me the Tar Heels. Coach Spurrier took Wake Forest. Shane, break the tie.
I'm taking North Carolina. I saw something, and I may have misread it, but I don't think Wake Forest has beat a team with a winning record this year.
I think you're right. Maybe Army. Maybe Army.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I think North
Army's
Carolina.
4. I've got Army. We got them coming up. Army's 4-3, so barely a 500 record. So you're going North Carolina as well?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm with you there. High scoring game, I assume, right? Neither team plays much defense.
Yeah, it'll be a fun game to watch.
Man, that damn Wake Forest Army game the other week was a blast. So Coach Spurrier goes Wake Forest. Shane, you and I go Tar Heels. Noon SEC, game number 7 of our picks here, the Safe Harbor Seafood picks of the week. Liberty, 7-2. One of last year's darlings, Shane. Liberty is at Ole Miss. Ole Miss 6-2, 3-2 in the SEC. Liberty has lost, get this, to Syracuse, not a very good team. And Liberty's second loss, Shane, I don't know if you even know this. Louisiana Monroe. Yeah, Terry Bowden's takeover team, probably the worst team in the country last year. Liberty has already dropped 2. They're at Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a tired, beat-up team. This is a tough, scary pick. Coach Spurrier has gone Ole Miss. Shane, I'm going to go Ole Miss. Again, break the tie in a tough pick, I think.
I think Ole Miss hammers Liberty. I know Ole Miss is missing a bunch. I don't think Liberty is as good as people think.
Sure.
As you said, they've lost to 2 bad teams. I don't know if they've beaten anybody worth a darn.
Yeah.
They got Malik Davis, the Auburn transfer, who a lot of people think he's a first-round quarterback. I do not see that at all.
I'm with you.
I don't know what these people see. I have no idea what they see. But I think Ole Miss wins.
I'm with you. So we go Ole Miss across the board, Coach Spurrier, Shane, and myself. Again, that is might be a fun game. Noon, SEC Network. Ole Miss, by the way, just looking ahead, they could kind of factor into the West. They've got A&M Vandy and at Mississippi State, of course, the Egg Bowl. Game number 8, Shane. They call it the Commanders Classic. Pretty tough game to pick. Army, their ground attack. Army's 4-3 overall. They are playing Air Force. Now, that is a neutral site game. It's the Commanders Classic played in Arlington, Texas. Not in the big stadium. They're playing that in Globe Life Stadium, the baseball stadium across the street. Army, Air Force, playing for a trophy. Air Force 6-2, 3-2 in the Mountain West Conference. Army, as I said, 4-3. Coach Spurrier has taken Air Force. Shane, I'll let you go second. Pretty tough pick here. 2 pretty good Service Academy teams.
Yeah, it is. Gosh. I don't know who to take, quite honestly. It's like
It's
a
tough.
mirrored image of one another. I'll go with Army for the heck of it.
We'll put you down for Army, and I'm going to go ahead and go Air Force as well. So Coach Spurrier and I, we go Air Force, you go Army. By the way, incidentally, 11:30 CBS kick. That's tomorrow. That leads into the 3:30 game that we'll get to in a moment. Speaking of SEC games, we get to game number 9 of 11. Tough pick again. Tennessee reminds me a little bit right now from a physical standpoint. They remind me of Ole Miss. They're a little bit beat up. They're a little bit through the meat grinder, Tennessee, physically. The Vols, 4-4 overall, chasing a bowl that they say they will take. 2-3 in the SEC are the Vols. They are at Kentucky. Kentucky's lost a couple recently, 6-2, 4-2. Coach Spurrier took Kentucky. Shane, I think this is a tough one. This is a quiet, big-time rivalry. These two schools don't like each other in the SEC. Tennessee at Kentucky. Shane Matthews, what say you?
I like the Tennessee Volunteers. I like the way they're playing right now. I like their offense. I think they can outscore Kentucky, and I think the Vols will find a way to win.
Looks like Hendon Hooker is pretty much healthy now, I think, all the way. I'm going to go Tennessee as well. Certainly, Kentucky wants to get back to their running ways. They've had back-to-back games where they haven't gotten near 100 yards rushing, and that's their identity, and that's killed them. Kentucky at home, 7 o'clock, night games, tough place to play at night, as you know, Lexington. But you and I, we like Tennessee on the road. Probably the best game on paper in the nation. Auburn is at Texas A&M. Both teams still have serious SEC West implications. They both think they can win it. The winner of this game still has a big shot at winning the West. I know a lot of people have already given it to Alabama. Auburn on the road, 3:30 CBS game at Texas A&M. Coach Spurrier's taking A&M. Shane, I think you and I are both going to take A&M. We love A&M. I love them. I think they're playing as good as anybody in the country. Talk about that game.
Yeah, I think A&M will win this football game, and then they're going to hope that Auburn can beat Alabama at the end of the year. But yeah, A&M, they're playing real well right now. The Calzada kids come along. It's a shame they lost. The 2 games they lost to just blow my mind.
Yeah.
The way they lost to Arkansas and losing at home to Mississippi State is just it's unbelievable. But it is what it is. But I think they beat Auburn.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to go A&M. Should be a pretty good game. Auburn, Shane, would you agree? Auburn's playing better than I thought they would. Bo Nix has settled down, and he doesn't kill them. I didn't think Auburn would be this good. Not that they're, a great team, but I didn't think Auburn would be this good.
Well, I think the coach of the year in the SEC, regardless of what happens the rest of the year, is Brian Harsin. I think he's just changed that program. Look at what he and Mike Bobo have done with Bo Nix. He actually kind of plays like a quarterback now.
Yeah.
Auburn to me has been the surprise of the SEC.
So we go, with all that said, we all three go A&M across the board. Should be a good game. Should be a real good 3:30 CBS game. And then certainly we'll close things out with Shane Matthews. Florida on the road at South Carolina. That is the 7:30 SEC Network game. Gators 4-4, 2-4 in the conference play. South Carolina 4-4, 1-4. South Carolina just a miserable performance this year on offense, pretty much across the board. Shane, I think we're all picking Florida. Coach did, obviously. What do you expect? What do you expect for Florida between the ears, number one, as they take the field tomorrow in Columbia?
Well, South Carolina is not a very good football team. I don't know how else to put it. They may be the worst offense in the league.
It's terrible.
I think their offense is worse than Vanderbilt. So Florida should win this game handily. Hopefully we can go out and just, play loose. I don't know if we need to play. I don't know how we need to play, but a turnover-free game. I don't see South Carolina scoring many points. We should be able to run the football on this crew. Florida should win this game handily. And
Shane, you're on the call tomorrow. Is that correct?
Yeah.
You've got the call with Mick Hubert tomorrow on the Gator Network. So it should be a little cool night game. We'll see.
Cold and rainy.
Cold and rainy, just the way Shane Matthews likes it, right?
Yeah, this would be one of those games where it'd be miserable. It's supposed to be like 48 and rainy.
Ooh, that is rough. Emory Jones, are we assuming now that AR-15 is pretty much out with concussion-like symptoms for the game? Is that what we're hearing?
Well, I haven't. You know, you would think me calling the game, I would know something. I don't know anything, but I would be shocked if he even dresses.
Yeah.
If you're in concussion protocol last Saturday, I can't remember the amount of days and the stuff you go through, but there's no way he plays in this game.
There you have it. There you have it. Shane Matthews on the call. Shane, thanks so much for your time here.
I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I don't see how it's possible.
You would think, certainly. That C word, boy, that just screams miss at least one game just because of the C word. That concussion word has gotten so serious in and around. So we'll see. Shane, have a good call. Thanks for your time. Have a good safe trip up and back, and we'll get together next week.
All right, Jerry. Take care.
That's my buddy Shane Matthews, who, again, will be on the call for the Gator Radio Network with Mick Hubert for Florida, South Carolina. There we have it, the Safe Harbor Seafood Picks of the Week. Really enjoy that segment. It's a lot of fun. Coach Spurrier got his picks in. He's traveling. He'll be in next week. Shane Matthews and myself will track him and let you know on Monday. Break time, a couple more news and notes around college football you need to be aware of. We'll come back and wrap up a Friday edition, College Sports Today, presented by the Allen Law Firm, coming to you live from the Future Home Loans Studio.
As a boy growing up in Tennessee, I learned to love the outdoors, where I spent countless hours riding bikes, playing sports, and hiking in the woods. The beauty of God's creation was the foundation of my faith, which has guided my whole life since then. My love of the outdoors has been passed on to my kids and grandkids, and my greatest professional joy is helping clients move past devastating injuries to return to doing the things they love to do. If you or someone you love has been hurt and needs help, I'd be honored to stand up and fight for you.
All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
Taste the islands and every drop of Vida de Luis tequila. 100% blue agave from Tequila, Mexico. Good
All the
vibes.
good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
It's time to thank the sponsors that make college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle possible. Vida de Luis Tequila, the official tequila of college sports today. Make sure you ask for Vida de Luis Tequila by name in your favorite bars and restaurants throughout the state of Florida. And of course, with your next margarita inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grille. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The official seafood restaurants of college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle can be found up and down the northeast Florida coast. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The proud seafood sponsors of college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle. J.B. Coxwell Contracting, established in 1983 and offering complete site development. Go with the company generally considered the most well-respected heavy civil construction firm in Northeast Florida. Go with J.B. Coxwell Construction. For advertising information to get your business on college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle, simply shoot me an email, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. Again, shoot me, Terry Norvelle, an email, and I'll get back with you. That email address again, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com.
So there you have it, folks. The picks are in, the Safe Harbor Seafood Picks of the Week for Week 10. Thanks to Shane Matthews for stopping by. We've got Coach's picks. Coach Spurrier turned his in earlier. Coach will be back. He's on some business. He'll be back next week, and, of course, we will follow how the picks go. I've got a 1-game lead on Shane and a 5-game lead on Coach, and we're coming down the backstretch, and then heading into the bowl games. I'll tell you, the bowl games, we may want to call a champion after the regular season. Bowl games, bowl season, they're going to be they're already basically obsolete unless they're the playoff games. With the NIL and everything going on, I think bowl games are going to be an absolute obsolete mess in December. I can see a lot of guys, they get a little jingle jangle in their pocket. They got money in their pocket for the first time maybe ever, and they're thinking, do I want to hang around with this team for the entire month of December to play in some 8-4, 7-5 bowl game December 28th, or do I want to just shut it down? I've given away 17 weekends in a row. I think bowl games might be a mess. So let's take a zip around some college football news and notes and things going on. As predicted, number one, the first college football playoff poll of the season came out on Tuesday. Georgia, Bama, Michigan State sitting at 3, Oregon sitting at 4. If it stayed, those would be the 4 that would make the playoffs. Ohio State 5, Cincinnati tumbled from the AP 2 all the way down to 6. As predicted, Cincinnati's got a tough chore. I think they can win and win out, and they're still going to fall. Their resume just will not hold or gain ground for Cincinnati. SMU losing did not help. SMU had a chance to be near the top 10 if they won out when they got to the Cincinnati game. So Cincinnati is falling, and you could see that coming. We can get into a little bit more of that a little bit later. Michigan 7, they've still got a chance if Michigan could win out. I don't expect it. Oklahoma 8, they're in a nice spot if they win out, even though they're sitting at 8. Wake Forest 9, and Notre Dame is pinned at 10 because of their loss to Cincinnati. Notre Dame's in that damned if they do, damned if they don't position. Only one loss. They're sitting at 10. Their loss was to Cincinnati. There's no way in hell Cincinnati and Notre Dame are going to eat up 2 of the 4 spots. Notre Dame lost to Cincinnati, so theoretically Notre Dame would like Cincinnati to get out of there if they know they can't get in with Cincinnati. If Cincinnati gets out of there, that means they lose a game, and that makes the loss look worse. So you see how that plays, bedfellows and all of that. So I want to be aware of that. A couple things with Georgia. Obviously, I was at the Florida-Georgia game, first time seeing Georgia in person. Very, very, very impressive, certainly on defense. The walkaway, the takeaway, and I think this will be a talking point from now on, the rest of the season into the playoffs. Does Georgia have enough offense? That's the big concern if I was a Georgia fan. Does Georgia have enough offense? Plenty of defense, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But there's a pretty good chance. Think about how you win a national championship in college football right now today. You have to, at minimum, win 2 games in a row. You've got to win the semifinal game, and you've got to win the championship game, okay? So the concern after watching Georgia, will they have enough offense to possibly go back-to-back against dynamic offenses? Think about it. Georgia could, with their pedestrian offense, they could easily lock horns with dynamic offense such as Oklahoma in a semifinal game. Dynamic offense, Ohio State in a final game, or some combination of Alabama and then Ohio State. There are some dynamic offenses out there that I still think will get in the upper 20s if they play Georgia. Can Georgia match? That's the big question. Some news out of Georgia. They're going to lose a linebacker, Adam Anderson, at least for 1 game. Some serious assault charges have been levied against Adam Anderson. The sack leader for the Georgia Bulldog defense this year will at least miss the Missouri game. We'll see how that goes. Potential very serious allegations against senior linebacker Adam Anderson for Georgia. News broke recently, at least I just saw it earlier this morning. Salyer, the big left tackle for Georgia, the starting left tackle Salyer, long-time starter on that offensive line for Georgia. He's going to miss some time, at least a game or so, with an injury. So Georgia, a couple injuries going to into their game against Missouri. Word is Missouri's starting quarterback, Connor Basilick, who's a pretty good player, word is he's going to miss the game. Georgia should win that game by 40 if they win it by a point, no matter who's playing of those players we just named. The College Football Committee has put another delay on expansion talk. They're going to table that, if you haven't heard, until another meeting December 1st. Now, I get it a little bit. The Alliance group, those 3 Alliance conferences, they're kind of making things difficult, but nonetheless, I think there would have been a delay no matter what. That's all the College Football Playoff Committee ever does, is delay and push things. You know how I stand with the committee that has run college football for a million years. They would make you think running college football is the most difficult job in the world. It kills me. The College Football Playoff Committee, Expansion Committee, they remind me of road construction. It never ends. they never finish anything. They just put off and push back and delay and push back. It's road construction. It never ends. And speaking of ending, we'll end the show on a fun little light note. We track here a lot of times the Beth Mowens, and we kind of make fun with the voice, and a lot of people are turned off when she calls the game because of the pitch of her voice, and we have a lot of fun. We don't mean anything mean-spirited, but she has all year really not been around the SEC. We track it every week and kind of tell you where she's at. She's getting closer, boys and girls. She's getting closer. The Beth will call the Tennessee-Kentucky game, so she is in the SEC this week, and I've been saying, oh boy, if Florida and Florida State lose a game or two going down the stretch in November, she has called a ugly Florida State game before. Several years ago, she called one of those noon Florida State games. I think McElwain was the coach. It was a miserable game. So watch it, guys. The Beth is getting closer. She may be coming to an SEC ballpark near you. That'll wrap it up. We'll get back together on Monday, look at our picks, and review Week 10 of the college football season. Pretty good weekend on schedule, starting really tomorrow with the big games. A pretty good spread throughout the day and some meaningful games. Hope you enjoy Week 10. We'll get back together on Monday and look at what's going on, and we're heading into Week 11. Coach Spurrier back next week. We'll catch up with Shane Matthews next Friday as well. For Evan Miller producing, I'm Terry Norvelle. Have a great weekend. Enjoy Week 10 college football, and we'll get together 11 a.m. Monday for the next edition of College Sports Today.